Alright guys, welcome to Monday's leg workout that I'll be following for the next 4 weeks and see my progression throughout the 10-week birthday challenge that I am starting for just myself, just keep myself accountable, take you guys along and just show you the ins and outs of my strength program, my diet, and yeah, how I'm keeping myself accountable. And hopefully, you guys can get some really great takeaways for yourself and your own goals. And yeah, I'm really excited. So, anyway, so here we go with the warm up that I'm always doing. So, I always do a general warm up. Usually, will be like walking to the gym. It's about a 20-minute walk. So, oftentimes that's enough. If it's really cold out, I might jump on the Stairmaster or the treadmill for a bit, just warm up a little bit more depending on how my body's feeling. I do go really early in the morning right now, so around 6 a.m. So, I do need to really wake that body up from sleeping all night. Then I'm coming into the gym here and I'm doing my dynamic warm up. So I'm just really warming up those muscles that I'm going to be using. So today it is a leg day and the main focus is squats. So I'm really focusing on warming up those hips, activating those glutes, warming up the thoracic and the lumbar spine. So you'll see here that what I've been doing is the core 4, okay? So I learned this in my fascial stretch program that I took a few years ago and I really, really love it. You're really using breath to warm up those muscles, okay? So the first one, I'm just really focusing on opening up the hips and the glutes area, okay? And using it kind of like a wave formation as you see. Really make sure that both your legs are at 90-90. Then I go back, I lean back on that same side arm and I twist through my thoracic spine, really activating deeper into the hip flexor and the QL, which is this high reach over, really gets in that lower back area, which is called your quadratus lumborum or shortened to the QL. After I finish that on both sides, really taking my time and my breath to warm that up, I'll come onto all fours. And this I just like to do to kind of warm up my hands, honestly. And then I'll come into a cat-cow, okay? So a lot of us know this, really using the breath, inhaling and exhaling, arching the back. Make sure with this, you're really doing a push-pull, okay? So you're pushing the ground away from you as you arch your back into that cow, and then coming through, okay? So doing a few rounds of that with breath again is really, really important. Then I'm rocking back onto my butt and I'm coming into a bit more of a thoracic warm-up, especially when you're going into something like squats or deadlifts, any of those major compounds. You really want to make sure that you've warmed up the whole body, not just the legs, okay? We often forget that we're really using the back and the arms and everything when we do those. So a few rounds of this, touching my elbow on the other side and then going as far as I can. The last few I kind of do a bit of a pulse at the top, and this just really helps me get an increase in that range a little bit. I had a chiro tell me that one time, and it really, really helps just open up that thoracic spine. The thoracic spine is definitely a weakness part for me. It gets really, really, really tight. And so I have to focus a lot on that. And I find a lot of clients do as well. They kind of have lost their ability to connect to that area, our trunk and rotation in general. Then I'm coming into a bit more of a dynamic hip opener. I really love this one. It gets deep, deep into my adductors there, part of my hip flexors, and I'm just rocking. Again, you always want to use movement, dynamic warm-ups when you're waking up the body and getting ready for the lift. So I'm just rocking forward a bit and then back. Every time using that breath again and just increasing that range. You really want to work to get deeper and deeper into the stretch with each pass, okay? Then I come into what's like a puppy pose, and then just kind of like an upward facing or cobra there, and then I'm coming into a bit more of my upper body shoulder mobility. So I am recovering from a dislocated shoulder and many years of not taking care of it, and finally taking care of it as best I can, not trying to slow down. So I really make sure I've warmed up that properly as well. And when you're holding a squat bar, especially me, I like to do low bar squats. So you really want to make sure that your back is activated, your shoulders are open, your chest is nice and stretched out so that you can get that bar in the proper positioning. And there, yeah, just doing a few pulses, just activate the rhomboids, so the mid back there, or the upper back rather there. Way back into that puppy pose. That one just feels really great for me, so I'll often do that. Then I'm coming onto my back, and I think I'll be coming into a bit of a dead bug here. Yep. So just activating the core, really connecting with it, making sure this just really helps me like remind myself to, okay, like, you know, remember to use it when you're doing your lifts. So really suggest kind of doing a quick core activation before you start as well. Nothing to fatigue them, obviously, but just awareness. So oftentimes kind of like a side plank, maybe a normal plank for 20 seconds or something, or some dead bugs, just like I'm doing here. Really important with dead bugs or any abs, you're keeping that lower back on the ground and not letting it arch and stress the back. Okay, then coming into some simple glute bridges. Didn't have my band today. Usually like to bring a bit of a band for a bit more resistance, but I was okay. I'm able to really create pretty good connection with my glutes without it. I really just focus on pushing through the floor with my feet and squeezing the glutes at the top and kind of abducting my knees out to the side a little bit as I'm doing here really helps activate. Making sure with this one too, you're keeping your core tucked in, pelvis tucked, and not letting those ribs come up. Then here I just felt the need to come into a bit more of a back bend and just kind of opening up. I really find this, I feel this from the bottom of my feet to the bottom of my spine, or sorry, the back of my head. And it really just helps. As I said, I do struggle with mobility at my T-spine, and this just really, really helps opening that up for me, especially after sleeping. I normally do this at the end, just kind of felt nice to do it at the beginning here. You always want to make sure you're looking forward with this one. Don't bring your head off to the side. And just, yeah, work with your body there with your breath and don't overstress it. Then I'm coming onto my stomach, and again, just some dynamic warm-ups, opening up the hips. So my warm-up routine is quite long. I will at least take usually around 10 minutes with dynamic warm-ups like this, but it really helps me get my body awake from sleeping and just in the right mindset to go and crush my lift, all right? So you really want to make sure you're mobilizing correctly and not just going through the motions, but really focusing on them just like you are your workouts, right? So if you're not focused in your workouts, then they're going to suffer. And the same with warm-ups. You really want to make them part of your workout, not just like, oh, something you quickly do as a warm-up. Then I'm just coming onto my back and doing kind of the other opening of the back a little bit. All right, so I think that wrapped up my mobility for the day, and next we'll be getting into some squats. All right, guys, so we're coming over to the squat rack, and this is how I love to warm up squats. I've been doing this for the last couple weeks, and I've noticed a huge difference. So I use just the bar, and with my breath, I take it to the lowest possible that I can go, and I'm just breathing deeply into my diaphragm, into my lower belly here, and allowing my hips to get low and open, and I just really am able to really get in touch with what's going on with my body today, because it always changes from day to day. We don't really know, right? We can feel really strong one day, then the next we have tightness here or there, and we can't just assume that we're going to do the same weight today. Right, so I do a few passes like that, and I really, as you guys can see, I spend a lot of time at the bottom of this rep, and it's something I've been introducing to a lot of my clients just as warm-ups, right? And so that one, I felt warmed up, and so I just popped in and out, and I was like, okay, I think I am ready to go now. So always want to do a warm-up set. So there I just did the bar, as you can see. Now I've thrown on, dropped that sweater too, getting a little hot, and now I've thrown on just 25s on the other side. Oh, sorry, no, did not show you guys the warm-up set. Okay, so I'm going here right into my working set. I did add on 20 more pounds, however, though. I've really been playing around with my squat, and like my strength is just skyrocketing right now. So I was able to throw on some more weight, but this is the working weight of 155 for 5. I was doing 5 sets of 5 today. And yeah, they felt really good. As I said, I'm feeling really strong. Yeah, it was a bit tough there. You can see I'm kind of shortening the reps a little bit, rocking forward. But for the most part, I was pretty happy with that squat and that lift today. And yeah, I was able to do 5 sets of the 5, so it felt really good and definitely be moving up. All right, now I'm moving into a bit more of my hypertrophy work. So right now I've been loving doing a bit more of a strength lift at the beginning, about 5 reps, and then going a bit more of my hypertrophy, 8 to 12 reps. And yeah, we'll see. I've liked it so far, and my body's feeling really great on it. So we'll see how I respond now that I'm coming to a bit more of a fat loss phase. So here I'm going into some reverse lunges. I love reverse lunges to activate the glutes, take out the quad engagement a bit more, and just, yeah, really focus on that posterior chain, which is what I am looking to personally grow and focus on. So yeah, doing the reverse. I'm doing pretty heavy here. I'm doing 30. I just jumped up to 30 last week. They're feeling pretty good. As you see, I'm having a bit of hard time stabilizing through the core, but working on it. And this is my first time ever doing the 30, so it felt pretty good. And yeah, my arms, my fingers are really what was giving out first there. As you see, I had to drop it in between my superset, and I'm doing a superset here, which means just 2 exercises back to back with little to no rest. And now I'm going into a stiff-legged deadlift, so an RDL with the same weight, the 30 pounds. So with RDLs, I've really jumped up in that weight. I can do about 45 pounds there, but when I'm doing the superset, I kept it at 30, and it was definitely enough. I was really, really feeling it here. All right, so after that, I am showing you guys just the side angle, and I'm just going to talk through a little bit, few more things about what I like to focus on my leg days, as you guys can just kind of watch these clips. So as I mentioned, yes, I like to focus on posterior chain and glute engagement and glute work versus quads. My quads take over really, really fast, and so I don't directly train them, very often. Obviously, I do lunges and I do step-ups, and I do squats. So they are getting a lot of crossover in those, but I do not directly train quads very often, and I don't train quads very often with a lot of my female clients, and that is because for a lot of us, we are very quad dominant, and for the most part, we do want to grow the posterior chain. That's kind of more physical, appealing look for females right now. And so yeah, that's kind of what I focus on. And that's why I love doing the reverse lunge, but I'll do a bunch of different lunge variations. Then with the RDL, or any deadlift in general, I really want to make sure my clients and myself are not just pushing through the heel, but rather the midfoot. And so making sure that middle part, the inside of your foot, stays down too. I've noticed a huge difference in my glute recruitment, hamstring recruitment, when I'm doing that instead of just focusing on the heel. All right, so after that, I moved into my second superset. I'm doing a sumo squat here with 75 pounds, I believe. So fairly heavy. It's actually the heaviest dumbbell that this gym has. It's kind of annoying. But with the sumo, I just keep my knees pointing out to the side slightly. So this is hitting the glute medius, the side of the glute muscle, a bit more than your normal stance squat. So I do love these because, yes, I'm always chasing that booty pump. All right, so after that, I moved into a lightweight glute thrust. So yeah, for glute thrust, I do upwards of 200 on lower reps. So for this, it's like middle way through my workout, obviously feeling like the burn. And this, honestly, I probably should have gone down in weight. It was a little too heavy. I could feel my lower back engaging, which you don't want. So for me, I probably should have backed off, but yeah, I didn't today, and I'll probably learn from that. If I'm feeling this next time I do this, I probably might drop the weight a little bit with these. So I did 10 with the 70 pounds, and as you see, I'm not coming as low as I normally would with these, and that's just because this dumbbell will dig like really into my hip bones if I go too far down, but it's just a partial, so it's getting a nice, again, just that booty pump and that end range of the motion, which is what I'm trying to work on, because I noticed in another video I was not getting that full engagement on my glute and lockout. Then I dropped to body weight, so I hadn't actually planned to do this, but it just kind of felt good in the moment, which is honestly, I train like this a lot, and I do follow programs. I obviously think they're really important, but I do think it's so important to listen to your body and go with what feels good. So this just felt good to kind of pump it out at the end. As I said, that was feeling a little too heavy for me, so I only did 10, and then I just pumped it out with 10 at the end. And yeah, just really felt the squeeze. I did some pulses at the top in my other sets, and yeah, just went with what I was feeling. All right, guys, so the last thing I did was a tri-set, okay? So I grabbed a 20-pound kettlebell, so just light rep, and this angle is really lovely, but anyway, I did 20 reps of this nice quick pumper, all right? So I just did 10 for you guys that way, 10 for you this way, so you can see. With these, honestly, like you see, I'm locking out my glutes to the top, but I'm not completely straightening my legs, even less so in the other sets I did, because this was a little bit too much. And again, that is just keeping the tension on the glutes, okay? What I have found to work for me personally. Then I am coming down to the ground, right into these Frogger pumps. These are great to do on like a bench too, but as I said, with my right now for my glutes in the end of this workout, they were dying. I could hardly do this. I was still really feeling it, but obviously like the range of motion is just negligible. And yeah, I still really felt these though. You want to press your feet together and squeeze the glutes at the top. I was having a bit of a hard time not engaging my hamstrings there, but yeah, they still felt really good. And then I just came into a single leg donkey kick with kickback with a dumbbell, and honestly I used to hate these and used to always feel my low back, but I've been getting pretty good at them and I feel a good contraction in my glute. You really want to make sure, you guys, that you're keeping the core nice and tight though here, and you're not feeling it in your low back and your QL there, okay? So just be mindful of that. Don't be a hero with the weight. Do bands, even do body weight. You can get a good pump with these. And yeah, for me, you can see I've become a bit lazy in the upper body, so I'm getting a bit fatigued here. Definitely not always recommended, but sometimes, you know, you just gotta chase the burn. All right, guys, that is gonna wrap up my workout. I did a little bit, just like pumper out at the end here. After that, I did do some static stretching and didn't film that for you guys. Definitely will at another time. Again, I do just go with how I feel for closing out the workout. And yeah, it's going to wrap it up. Take care, guys.